Hi everybody, this is Jane here from Crystal Sparkles Readings. I'm just here to give you a daily card from the Faulkner Tarot deck, the black and white version I'm going to be using today. This is the card deck I usually use. So I'm going to give you a card from the Faulkner deck for today, which is Tuesday the 1st of March. Also going to pull an oracle card at the end of this little reading, just to give you a little bit of something extra, as it's the 1st of March and first of the month, to see what kind of energy we've got for the rest of the month. But let's have a little look and see what we've got for today first, see what our guides need us to know. And as I'm shuffling, I'm just asking the question, what do we need to know today? Okay, there we go. Let's just put this here. Okie dokie. The card for today is Judgment card. Judgment card is an interesting one. It has many meanings. Many of the cards in the tarot have multiple meanings, and generally it depends on the question that you've asked. It depends on the position and the spread that you've put them down in, and also can be affected by the cards around it. As we're looking at the Judgment card in isolation today, kind of have to go with intuition and what my guides are telling me. And the card today, I feel, is all about kind of a bit of a new dawn. It is the 1st of the month, and that makes sense. And I kind of feel like March, although it can still be a weeny bit chilly and a little bit wintry sometimes, I almost feel like March is kind of really the start of moving into the more kind of brighter spring-like months of the year. So the Judgment card for me today is talking about that new energy. It's talking about new energy coming in, especially in the form of brightness. I feel like there's a brightness around the card and around the energy today. So it's talking about embracing something new, not being afraid to get out there. We've all hibernated away a little bit over the last probably 4 months or maybe more, avoiding the cold, wet, rainy weather. So especially for us in the UK, it's a bit more about being able to get out and about, going and doing fun things rather than being kind of hunkered down at home with a hot chocolate and a blanket. This is more about being able to get out, and for some reason my guide's saying to me that it's important to be out in nature. So even if you're the sort of person who can't get out and about very much, throw your windows open, let the fresh air in, kind of feel like there's a need to embrace green energy at the moment as well. For some reason I'm being given green, and you know, that is quite strongly associated with nature obviously, but I just feel like there's a green energy. I feel very drawn to green, and that's not usual for me because it's not one of my favourite colours at all. But I feel it's important. So things like green trees, the grass, green crystals, green clothes, if you like that kind of thing. Just feel that there's this real need to embrace green, and green is very much about the heart chakra. So there's that kind of emotional, almost like this new energy around us all at the moment. So I would say that the Judgment card is saying new beginnings. This is very much about the sunrise. Can be read in two ways. This card can sometimes be about endings and a sunset, but today I feel like it's about new things. It's about new beginnings. It's about a sunrise. It certainly feels like a very positive energy around today in the Judgment card. Now I'm just going to pop down another little card for a little oracle card to give us a little bit more, seeing as we're on the 1st of March. although as usual the Faulkner Tarot has tuned into exactly where we are. Really very, very accurate deck. Doesn't really need supporting by anything much else, but I just thought it might be fun to have a little oracle card to see what else there is around us that we might need to be aware of. I'll just pop these over to one side so they've got a little bit more space, and I'll have a little shuffle. This is the Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. I use these cards quite a bit in readings. They're very, very beautiful imagery and quite uplifting cards. So I do use these quite a lot. Oh, sorry, I've got a little visitor that's decided to pop in. This is the Tarot Cat. As you know, people that have watched before have been introduced to Chinook, the Tarot Cat, before. He does pick his moments though, so we're going to ask him to leave and just move back a little bit. Come on, there you go. There. So he's come in to add his little piece today, and he's just going to take a seat there and leave us his tail. Excellent. Okay, so the Energy Oracle is saying to us, be aware of financial constraints this month. It's interesting that March leads us up to kind of like the end of the tax year. New tax year starts in April, very early in April. So this card might just be saying to you, you need to just have a little watch of that situation. When we are looking at financial matters, I don't go into too much detail with those sort of things, but this constraint around us is something to be aware of, but not to be a slave to, I would say. When we focus on what is lacking around us, we just attract more lack into our life. So I would always say, be aware, be mindful, but also focus on what you would like to manifest, rather than what constraints you have around you. Very interesting that the light from my window is reflecting on this, and to me it looks like we are moving through, having had financial constraint, into something a lot more positive. So just be wary of being too constrained. Be aware, but don't be too restricted. That just kind of attracts more restriction. What I would say to you is it kind of ties in quite nicely with what the Judgment card was saying about nature. Costs you nothing to open your window and look at a tree. Costs you nothing to go and walk in the park, take your shoes off on the lawn. It doesn't have to cost lots of money to be a fun thing to do. Getting out into nature generally is pretty much a freebie. So I would say just beware of situations, but don't just feel the constraint. Find something else. Look at the opportunities that you have around you to go and do things that are free and for nothing, as my nan would have said. And just to kind of put something a little bit more positive on top of that, I've pulled a second card for you, and funnily enough, the second card I pulled is the man holding the coin. The man holding the coin is all about new abundance and financial gain coming in around. So time of being wary and a time of more coming in. You can manifest more coming in by not being too constrained by this card. Be aware of it, but focus on what you want to manifest, and what you want to manifest is this rather nice young man with a pocket full of money. So you can focus on how you bring more abundance in, and being ready to welcome it, and not being afraid of being rich. Many of us have very set opinions on how to go about money and getting money, and whether it's okay to have money. Have a look at what your feelings on that are. Can be quite insightful to look at where your ideas about money come from, and change those around if you need to allow money to come into you. I will leave you with those cards for today. The Judgment card is for today, the others for the rest of the month. Do have a good day. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will upload this onto YouTube as well for anybody that misses it, although I think Periscope does keep these things for a little while. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope to speak to you again soon. Bye for now.